In the last interaction, we showed you how to download this HTML eBooks game, how to open up the JavaScript file, and how to edit the text so you can basically pretty much change it to whatever text you want inside of the game by simply just opening it up inside of a text editor and changing out the text. Well, in this file, or in this video, we're going to be talking about how to prep this for iBooks Author specifically. So I can go ahead and close out my text editors because I don't need them anymore at this point, and I can go ahead and take my folder and just make sure everything is contained inside of that folder. Well, this folder is on my desktop, and all I need to do on my desktop is actually rename that folder. So there's a couple ways that I can do that if you're on a Mac, and if you're working with iBooks Author, you're going to need to be on a Mac anyways. So on a Mac, if I right click, I'm going to go ahead and go down to Get Info, and I can just come here and change the extension, the name right here. Or if I just click once on the name anywhere, it will actually prompt me to change that name of that folder anyways. And if I just click the right arrow button, it'll go to the end of that name because I really don't want to change the name. I could type it out again if I wanted to. But all I want to do is add a .wdgt. This is what's called a widget file on the Mac. And if I hit enter, it's going to prompt me saying, are you sure you want to add a w.gt extension to this? Well, in order to bring this inside of iBooks Author, you do need to have it with the wdgt. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on add here. And you'll notice this little icon has now changed from a folder to an icon. Well, you may think that you can't actually add this to or change this if you need to anymore, but if you're on a Mac, you actually still can. If you right click on it, you can click on show package contents, and this I still have my default image, I still have my index.html, and I still have this shootout.js file that I can go ahead and change the text and anything for, and just save it here and close it out, and I can still edit it inside of there. So it's just a little bit different on how to get to those files, but it basically zips up those files as a widget. Now I can come into iBooks Author. Now in iBooks Author, you would have to start a project, so I'm going to go ahead and just select any random project just to show you for now. And once you have it, you can just go to any page. I'm going to select this page here, and I can come up to Widgets and go down to HTML. We're going to be importing an HTML5 widget that we just created and downloaded from the template library. So I'm going to go ahead and select that, and this is going to prompt me with a widget on iBooks Author. It'll also pull up in the inspector. If you don't see the inspector, click on this blue icon here. This will pop open with the widget inspector. Now if I come to the layout tab, I can uncheck where it says title, and I can uncheck where it says caption if I don't want there to be a title or a caption to there. And I can also check or uncheck where it has background there. That's up to you. You could just come in here and change the text to whatever title and caption that you want to. But really what we're worried about is the interaction. So I'm going to click on interaction here, make sure this is selected, come to the interaction tab, and this is where I choose my HTML5 widgets. So I hit choose, and then I come in, find that widget, and then click on insert. And you'll notice this thumbnail that we created, that default PNG, is what shows before the learner previews it. So if I go ahead and stretch this out a little bit, you'll notice that thumbnail can extend and get larger or smaller depending on what I do here. Now another way that you can bring in the widget is you can just drag and drop it inside of iBooks Author as well, and it will automatically insert that widget for you instead of having to go up to widget, choose, and everything like that. So a little bit quicker. But now I can preview this, so you can preview it in two different ways. The first way is to click on preview. You'll notice since I don't have an iPad open, the only option that I have is to preview it on the computer. If you wanted to preview this on your own iPad, you would have to plug in your iPad, and then once you've plugged in your iPad, that iPad is visible for you to actually preview it to as well. Let's go ahead and preview it to this computer first of all. That little prompt will show you or tell you that you need to have iBooks open, and you need to have iBooks installed on your Mac side, and once you do, it'll pop open with iBooks and it will actually preview this book for you. And you can test this out like you were on an iPad. If you click on that interaction, it'll pop open with that interaction, and now you can play that interaction right inside of iBooks. So that way, if someone's viewing this from a desktop, this is exactly how the interaction would work. And they can click on Done and then click on Exit here. Well, if I have my iPad plugged in, I can go ahead and hit Preview, click on iPad Air, and I need to have my iPad open up, or iBooks open up on my Air. And let's go ahead and show this here. So I have a previous book already open. Let's go back to the library. But now if I come in and I preview it on the iPad Air, it'll say OK there. And now you'll notice on my iPad I can switch between the different pages like a normal iPad can do. I can go into portrait mode, and you'll notice the thumbnail moves over to the left hand side. Going back into landscape mode, I can tap on the game to bring up the game, or I can actually pinch on the game to bring up the game as well. And that will bring it up, and now I can start playing it right on my iPad inside of iBooks Author. And you can't see my fingers here, but I'm tapping on the different parts of the game, and it will show that different part of the game and functions perfectly on my iPad. So that's how you prep your project that you've downloaded from the library. After you've edited it and everything, how you prep it for iBooks Author and bring it and use it inside of iBooks Author in your interactive inside of your interactive books using the HTML5 widget in iBooks Author.